Hi, hey, it's XJ. Quick and dirty time, digital SAT. We're going to do more literature questions because A, I love doing these because I'm a literature nerd, and B, you guys are requesting a lot of these in the comments, and also these have the most applicability to your AP tests because I know you guys are high achievers, so a lot of you are probably also studying for AP Lang or AP Literature test. So take the lesson from today on the literature, and you can do well on those tests as well. So to get a little bit more specific into it, this is the main purpose of the text, right? So when I'm looking for the main purpose of the text, it can seem a little bit more difficult because can you really say this was the purpose of a text in a literature, right? It's not like in the science passage when we know for sure that we are supposed to talk about a particular discovery, right? So it can seem a lot more subjective, right? And that's actually the key. We're going to eliminate the ones that are too subjective, okay? So we're going to, you guys remember my earlier videos, right? Oh, I mean, hopefully, okay? We should avoid the extreme answers, right? So we're avoiding the answers that are like, how would I even know that? Okay, so that's the key. So literature, main purpose, avoid the extremes. If I were to sum up the whole video, it would be that. And I know I've already had videos on avoid the extremes, so I'm doing the exact application of that idea onto the literature purpose question because, again, you guys have been asking about it. So we know that this is from 1912. It's the context is given here. You should read this context, guys, but I have seen a lot of trap answers that use exact wording from this background info, so don't get too hung up about it, okay? So take a second to read through the passage. I did not really pause that time because I'm learning that you guys can pause the screen. I don't have to pause myself. Okay, so if you look here, what is the sense that you get when you read this? And honestly, the takeaway for most people is going to be the first paragraph. This is where the problem arises for the majority of people. Look at these words. Like, a persuasive young fellow who claimed he was closing out of stock let the old man have it for what he called a song. What on earth does that mean? To let somebody have something for what he called a song. Nobody in American English probably speaks like that in 2023, right? So that's going to throw people off. And this is my key that I've been saying for the literature, and you guys might be able to guess. If I don't understand it, just move on, okay? Literature especially. You do not have to know the phrase here. Now, in terms of literature nerd, that means like he pretty much let him have it for free, okay? Does that matter at all for this question? Not at all, okay? So don't get hung up there, okay? And so let's see here. It was only a little out of the way store which subsisted chiefly in the framing of pictures. The old man looked around at his views of the city, his pictures of cats and dogs, his flaming bits of landscape. Okay, this is the thing I'm going to do. None of that stuff really mattered, okay? Now, how can I just be crossing out that information? Because look at the answer choices, okay? So for the literature purpose, unlike the science, if I read through the text and I'm not really quite sure what I should focus on, look at the answer choices, okay? Now, if you look at the answer choices, which one of these things, guys, which one of these things sounds like a super extreme that is really unlikely? C, obviously, right? Most highly prizes. Most highly prizes. That would mean this is the number one thing. And you can comb through the text, and you should comb through the text if you think the answer is C, to look for something like he likes best, his favorite, his treasured possession, anything like that, okay? But I already have here, it did seem that the picture failed to fit in with the rest of the shop, and I have the picture doesn't belong in there. That allows me to eliminate C, okay? Now, answer choice B is a very common answer because you go, oh, I can see from the first paragraph that the man does not like the picture, that it does not fit in. That is the other thing that you have to look out for in the literature questions. They do this all the time, but especially in the literature, they will base some of the trap answers on just the first paragraph. Because the literature is pretty much the only one they give you multiple paragraphs on the digital SAT, right? So that one, also resentment is a very strong word. So I know I wrote avoid extremes, and I saw some of you guys have been leaving comments lately on the videos, calling me a handwriting master, obviously sarcastic. I'll try to work on it, guys. I did break my wrist this year, but yeah, that is pretty atrocious handwriting, my bad. But avoid extremes, what does that mean? If I have emotions, right, I really need strong. Okay, so if I have strong emotion, then I need strong evidence. So you see the word resentment in answer choice B? What does it mean to resent somebody? That means I am upset about something and I don't like what happened and I'm kind of bitter with this person. Like I think this person did me wrong. Yeah? So what does the old man think about this man? You can read through this again. What do you guys think he thinks? Nothing at all. We don't know at all, right? So this is the main flaw. This is the trap answer I wanted to talk about here, okay? A lot of people go, okay, if somebody sold me a thing and they kind of cheated me out of it, they kind of just swindled me and they just charmed me to buy a useless thing that doesn't fit in my house, I would resent that guy. Guys, our feelings don't matter on the SAT, okay? So the trap answers are oftentimes what reasonable people will do. But the thing is, in the SAT, if there isn't evidence, it's not an answer. So B is out. Okay. So the answer is either A or D. Okay. Now, why is the answer not D? Because I do know that the new picture doesn't fit it. I do know what the other pictures look like, right? And here, let me test you guys. You can, obviously I can't hear you guys, but really try to find what makes D wrong here. Okay, it's this minute difference finding that really sets you up for that score that's above a 1500. Okay? Because, yeah, there are other pictures in the shop. And I do know what the other pictures look like. They have cats and dogs. Okay? And I do know that the new picture doesn't fit in, so it's different, right? Explain differences. For that to work, I have to know what the new picture looks like. Guys, what does the new picture look like? Yeah, they actually didn't tell us at all. At all. Okay? So a lot of these are, they put in information you think common sense-wise would be available, but wasn't actually said in the text. So even without looking at it, we already got our answer because we eliminated everything else. Okay? But our answer here is A. And this is, if you guys, oh, from watching your previous videos, Jay, I could do this even quicker by doing this. That's great. If you guys can do that, stick to that. Okay? The reason I went through the elimination is sometimes they give you like 2 answers are pretty okay. So you got to take one out. Okay? Conflicted feelings about the new picture. Okay, so I know it's about the shop owner because that's a shop owner. Conflicting feelings, I have failed to fit in, don't belong here. Those are negative feelings. Okay, secretly proud, that's positive feeling. Done. That's A. Okay, so if you're trying to do this really quickly, that would be kind of it. So if you are a good enough reader, if you're a fast-paced reader, you could go from the first paragraph like, oh, the dude thinks it doesn't really fit in. That's like a negative feeling. Here, oh, but he's secretly proud. I don't have to understand why. Doesn't even say why. That's positive. Okay, negative and a positive, that is a mixed feeling, a conflicted feeling right here. So that's my answer choice of A. Okay, but what if I wasn't able to do that because the text is 1912? Then you would just go through the elimination method that I just did, which let me just summarize again. I take out B because I don't know if the dude is resentment. Actually, this is the thing. I'm not saying he's not resentful. I eliminate the wrong answers on A. If it's wrong, duh, obviously, right? But B, if I have no idea of knowing if it's true, okay? Is the guy resentful? I don't know, because it doesn't tell us. C, is that what he most highly prizes? Again, I don't know. I don't know what he likes the most. And D, same thing. Explain the difference between new picture and other. I don't know what the new picture looks like. So B, C, and D are all out because I don't know if those things are true or not. Why? Because they all have extreme language. Avoid the extreme language, okay? So that was a more detailed breakdown than we usually do on Quick and Dirty because A, literature. This is a lot of times required if we do not have the ability to read literature from, like, again, the 18th century or something. And B, if you guys are doing AP Lang and AP Lit, and as AP season come up, guys, please feel free to request videos on those topics. I'll be happy to do them. You would also take this type of strategy for it, okay? So I'm going to be doing literature passages for a while because of the reason I said in the beginning of the video, right? Thanks for stopping by. Study every day with XJ. It's the best way. You already know. Bye-bye.